And of all the elven rings, Sauron most desired to possess them, for those who had them in their keeping could ward off the decays of time and postpone the weariness of the world. So let's discuss the 3 elven rings that Sauron so dearly desired. In Middle-earth, in the Second Age, there were 20 rings of power that were made. 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadow lies, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadow lies. The first 16 rings of power were created in Eregion, headed by Celebrimbor, who was the grandson of Feanor, the creator of the Silmarils. Sauron, disguised as Annatar, the Lord of Gifts, would befriend and teach Celebrimbor his knowledge of crafting and magic, allowing to develop the rings of power. Sauron would infuse these rings with his evil spells, without their knowledge, which he would intend to rule over these rings with the forging of the One Ring. After Sauron left Eregion, Celebrimbor created the 3 elven rings, and even though he used the knowledge he gained from Sauron to create these rings, Sauron never physically had a hand in their creation. But as soon as Sauron learned of their creation, he desired to possess them over any other rings of power. And Sauron truly desired them because they could ward off the decays of time and postpone the weariness of the world. Sauron would then forge the One Ring, and as soon as he put it on, the 3 wearers of the elven rings heard the voice of Sauron, and that moment they knew they were deceived by Annatar. They immediately removed the rings. Sauron sought these rings and waged war against Eregion in 1963 of the Second Age. Celebrimbor sent the 3 rings away into hiding to keep them out of the hands of Sauron. He sent Nenya to Galadriel, Vilya to the High King Gil-galad, which would be later given to Elrond, and Narya given to Círdan, which would later give this ring to Gandalf. Sauron would obtain all the other rings of power, but these elven rings would always remain hidden from him. After Sauron was defeated in the War of the Last Alliance at the end of the Second Age, the keepers of the 3 rings were free to wear them, allowing them to help keep the beauty of their elven lands and as protection against those that would try to intrude. Even though these rings were given special abilities, they were not limitless in power. As talked about in the Council of Elrond, Elrond stated that neither Rivendell, nor Lorien, nor the Grey Havens had the powers to stand against Mordor. These are where the 3 elven ring bearers were, but if Sauron learned that any of the 3 rings was at any of these locations, they would not be able to fight against his onslaught, even with the protection of the elven rings of power. So what exactly can these 3 elven rings of power actually do? The 3 rings were named after the 3 principal elements: water, fire, and air. They also matched the 3 fates of the Silmarils. The Valar set one Silmaril as a star in the sky. One fell into a fiery pit, and one was cast into the sea. Narya, the Ring of Fire, was given to Círdan, who later gave the ring to Gandalf, stating, "Take now this ring for thy labors, and thy care will be heavy. But in all it will support thee and defend thee from weariness. For this is the Ring of Fire, and herewith maybe thou shalt rekindle hearts to the Valar of old in a world that grows chill." It is said to be a ring of inspiration to those around the ring bearer, allowing them to not despair and help with resistance against weariness. Nenya, the Ring of Water, was given to Galadriel and has only ever been worn by her. It was made with mithril and set with a white stone. It was said to help with preservation and protection and slight concealment from evil. Vilya, the Ring of Air, was seen as the most powerful of the 3 rings. It was sent to Gil-galad far away in Lindon and later would be given to Elrond. Not much is known about the power of this ring. We know that all the rings were created for the powers of healing and preservation. We can only assume that this ring gave some control over the elements, since Elrond was able to summon a torrent of water as the Nazgul attempted to enter Rivendell. This is something that we saw in the Lord of the Rings movies as well. Sadly, not much information is given on all 3 of the Elven Rings of Power, as they were never truly the centerpiece of Tolkien's writings. Hopefully I was able to provide you with some information on the 3 Elven Rings of Power. Thank all of you for watching, and I will talk to you guys all in the next video.